This right here is why I miss the Southwest. Just look at that sunset. Just gorgeous.
Hi, I'm Johnnie from the Artistic Nomads and Radically Reducing, and today we have a special guest for our Radically Reducing project. This is Sean Boyle, known as Mr. BubbleWrap. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Right.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on to tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Right on. So Sean's going to tell us a little bit about his journey and how he became radically reduced. How losing his stuff helped him not to want any more. Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Okay.
And how you got to this state.
Well, I own my own business, and it was my first business, and didn't have a whole lot of money, so I had really pared down. I had the majority of my stuff in a storage unit because it wouldn't fit where I was at. I could only keep so much stuff with me, basically just clothes and things that I actually used every day. So anything that I didn't use every day wasn't really all that important on a day-to-day getting my job done life. I had to put in storage because I just didn't have enough room for it where I was living.
Right.
And what had happened was things at work had gotten to a point where all my money was going towards keeping the business going or keeping a roof over my head. And I was faced with a choice of paying for my storage or paying my rent. And I really had to.
Wow.
Yeah, I really had to think hard, and if there was anything I wanted to grab from my storage unit before
they closed it down.
Before they closed it down, I had to think if there was anything that I just couldn't live without.
So you're a prime example of how the universe can make choices for us.
Yes.
Or some of the choices that you made before that caused this consequence, do you think?
Yeah, there was a lot of things that at the time were not important, and I'd let go and didn't give it the attention that it needed.
Right.
For me to keep all my stuff.
So you lost your stuff because you couldn't pay your storage.
Because I couldn't pay my storage,
You're
right.
pumping all your money into your business, which was not working at the time, right? It started failing.
Yeah, it started to fail. So I was desperately trying to keep things going, and I was just left with the choice. What do these things really mean to me, and how important are they really in my life?
And that comes down to that expression that stuff is just stuff.
Right. I actually had to tell myself that several times. It's only things. The stuff that was in storage, you have an attachment to it, but usually that attachment is because it's a reminder of an event, a memory, and it's not that thing that is the memory.
Right.
It's just a thing, and so but you project that importance onto that thing.
Well, we're taught in our society to have emotional attachments to our stuff, and part of the Radically Reducing project is to learn how to let go of stuff, both physically and emotionally. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of processing. Some of us are faced without having the choice, like at fire or disaster, flood. People lose things all the time.
Right, all the time.
All the time. Were you angry at first, having to let go of all those things?
I wasn't angry. Plenty of times where I missed certain things, and I was sad that, like, I lost all of my photographs, I lost all of my old cassette tapes, and
we were talking about that the other day. You
uh,
had a really large music collection.
yeah, I
that
had
you
a
lost.
large music
Yeah, but
collection.
you had a mixture of LPs, cassettes, and CDs.
Yes,
Yeah.
CDs, LPs, cassettes, and that was kind of difficult. The photos were a little bit harder because those were actual little glimpses into my past where,
Yeah.
every once in a while I could pull them out and then remember that point in time. But, I had to remember that it's just a thing, and I
Right.
still have those memories.
And
They're not leaving me like the stuff.
it's a good argument to get your stuff digitally stored before you lose it.
Yeah.
Get it scanned, take it somewhere, do it yourself.
Mhm. Luckily, with my music and some of my photos, I did digitally store them, and that is one of the things that I did grab from my storage unit. I grabbed external hard drives
Right.
and a couple computer things that would allow me to save what I could of photos, music, movies, um, things that I had written digitally and had saved. So,
Yeah.
uh, but a lot of the material things, I just had to realize that they can be replaced.
Right.
And the memories aren't leaving with the thing; they're still inside me.
My next question was, how did you come to be okay with not having these things from your past, and you're kind of expressing that right now? Sort of an attitude adjustment, or
It kind of
skewing
was.
your looking at things different, having to shift how you look at things.
I did. You really had to shift my way of thinking. Um, a lot of the stuff that was in the storage unit, I didn't use every day.
Yeah.
But there was some kind of attachment that I had. The society, you're just used to having this or that around. You might not even, you might use it once every other week.
Right.
It is not a vital part of your life.
Of your existence.
But,
yeah.
But you got to have that thing, whatever it is.
I have to have my wangle doodle dingle banger. If I don't have my wangle doodle dingle banger, then I am not who I am.
Yeah.
Right? So we also attach identity to our things.
Mm-hmm. Yes. One of the hardest things, even harder than my photographs, and this is as terrible as it is I had a KitchenAid mixer.
Ah.
And I cook for a living. So to have a KitchenAid mixer was a big accomplishment for me at the time.
Yes.
It's like, yes, I finally have enough. I've made it. I'm an adult. I have a KitchenAid mixer now. And I had to let it go. And I was actually more sad about losing my KitchenAid mixer than my photographs. So it was, I had to change the way I looked at things. And I really had to think of what is useful, what is serving me, and helping me make it to the next day. What are
Right.
things that will help me improve my life in starting from scratch or starting from a minimalist point.
Right. I keep offering you some of our stuff because, we're trying to get rid of 90% of our stuff. And I'm like, here, do you want this? Here, do you want this? And you keep saying no. What's that about?
Saying no.
I'm like, I like you. You're my friend. I'm going to give you my stuff. Or, nominal amounts of financial or, trade. Some
Right.
sort of exchange.
Right. A lot of that is, I'm actually kind of happier with less stuff because I appreciate the few things more than having a bunch of stuff.
That's a really good point. Can you say that one more time? Just
I because I have so few things, I appreciate those things more than when I have a whole lot of stuff.
I think that's actually really crucial, a crucial point to what we're doing with radically reducing and what we're doing with our lives right now. And we both seem to have converged on the same path through very different avenues.
Yes, absolutely.
So that is really cool. What's the best thing about letting go and not wanting more?
The best thing about letting go and not wanting more is, I don't know, it just seems to be less stress. I really try to simplify things.
Right.
Things can bring in complications with them to an extent. Okay, so I have this much stuff. Well, if I had a lot of stuff, that would mean that if I wanted to move, well, I have to think about getting a larger place because I've got so much stuff. I can't fit in a closet like I can now.
I can't go live in New York City in a little 300-foot apartment,
right,
because I have stuff.
Yeah, before I lost everything and I had moved, I had all of this stuff. I had a single person. I had enough stuff for a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's where we're at right now, yeah.
So to radically reduce to the point where I don't own a bed. I've got blankets as mattresses. I've got a camping gear.
Tell us a little bit about what's the easiest thing about not wanting anything more? I know those are kind of similar questions, but there's best, easiest, and then we have one other.
The easiest thing is knowing that everything that you have is useful. You know, when I had a lot of things, I would have all of these clothes that would just be sitting in my closet, for example. And, you know, I've got a couple dozen shirts, we'll say, that I always wear. But then there was like a couple dozen shirts that I would like only wear once in a great while. But I didn't want to get rid of them because, you know, you never know when there's that one occasion. When
that one time you're going to need that one thing.
And you know what? I've got a nice shirt for for occasions where I've got to dress up. I've got a couple nice shirts. That's all I need.
What's the hardest thing about not wanting anything more? I mean, like friends, family, society, there's this expectation that in this American society, we just want to gather and collect everything. So what's the hardest thing for you living a simplified or minimalist life? I'm not sure which term you're going to go by, radically reducing, you know. What's the hardest thing?
The hardest thing is not just running out and trying to, quickly replace everything I let go.
No going out and buying a new KitchenAid?
No going out and buying a new KitchenAid. Though I've stared at new KitchenAid several times. It's like, you know what?
They aren't paying us for this, by the way.
I'm not getting paid enough to do this, to buy another one. And, you know, I had to actually think, how often did I use that? Well, I had an ice cream maker attachment to it. So in the summertime, I would use it like every other week. Make myself a little special batch of ice cream, and, you know, it's like going out and buying your favorite pint of ice cream, you know, high-end ice cream. So I was making my own little present every other week.
Little gifts.
A little gift to myself.
Gifts. Right.
But other than that, it just kind of sat in the kitchen and looked pretty. I had to stop myself so many times because a lot of it is just the society and media is telling me I must go out and have new things. Must have new things.
Must have new things.
I did break down and get one new thing, but it was necessary. And I bought a new bicycle, but that was because my older bicycle was becoming really run down and not necessarily safe to ride. So the new thing I got was vital and useful, and even the old bicycle, still useful, still vital. Traveling with both of them is
going to be
interesting.
Maybe get one of those racks.
But I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out.
Where do you see yourself next year?
Next year, I see myself living in an RV, whether it be a Winnebago type one that, you know, it's a vehicle in itself, or one that can be pulled. So I see myself in an RV, living the minimalist life.
Right. Now you plan to be nomadic with that? You're going to travel?
That's my hope, is to get to a point where I can travel. Right now I'm trying to kind of climb the ladder at work, where I can get into a position where they ask me to go to other properties to help out when they need it.
And this is going to be our final question for you today, right? So I want you to think about this for a minute. Reflecting back on the journey, is there anything that you learned that you'd like to share?
I learned that when you are radically reducing, that it is just a thing. As important as you think that item might be, you're gonna live another day without it. It's none of the, I mean, there are certain things obviously that you can't live without: food, water, shelter. Yeah. But everything else is icing on the cake. So if you realize that you're overly attached to something, sometimes that's when you need to learn to just let it go.
That's a good point.
And I learned to be grateful. Grateful for what I was able to keep. Grateful for the life I have, and grateful for seeing another day.
Well, thanks for being with us, Sean. I really appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to share?
Well, maybe we'll think of something later.
Okay. All right. Cool. And everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Bye, people.
Bye.